Hey everybody, it's Gail, and this is Errata-Hate episode 7. And I thought I would do something a little different this time. I've been doing tool reviews and pattern reviews and how-tos, and I wanted to take a minute and talk to you about how I came into crochet and why I enjoy it so much. I had someone ask me this, and I thought that that would be a good topic. Because I think, we all have different reasons for getting into it, and I originally got into it, I was 4 or 5, and my grandmother taught me how to chain stitch. And I chain stitched for like a week. And I eventually ended up making a chain stitch that went from one end of the house all the way to the other end of the house, and it was not a particularly small house. And then the next year when I was visiting, she was one of those summer grandparents. She lived far enough away, I only saw her once or twice a year. She taught me single crochet and half double crochet and double crochet. And I decided what I had to make was a giant blanket. Of course, I'm 5. I have no real sense of what these stitches look like outside of what I've been shown. But even at 5, I was ready to go big or go home. And so for years, I toted around in this same paper bag, this giant purple blanket I was making. I still have the original hook my grandmother gave me to make it. And I thought I lost it at one point, and it was devastating because this, to me, is so important. This is my grandmother taking the time to teach me something. And it's time with my grandma, and it's carrying with me, these good memories. And also, this was the only hook I had for years. And I would sort of come back and forth to crochet. I would do it for a while, and then I would stop, and then I would pick it up again. And then what happened, when I was in my early 20s, I got back into it big time. But all I had was the one hook, and so everybody got scarves. And then when I really decided to go for it again, I realized that this was something I really enjoyed doing because it was very calming to me. I have anxiety, and crochet is very soothing. It's actually, there have been studies about how it can put you in sort of a meditative state. Like, I actually can get very tired and need to nap when I'm crocheting, even if I'm fully rested, because it's such a relaxing experience for me. And so it's just been there my whole life, and it's been very joyful for me. And the big change that happened when I picked it up again in my 20s was that I decided it was time to learn how to make wearables beyond hats. And so I started this long process of learning how to make sweaters and skirts, and I tried to use written patterns, but the shape of my body is not compatible with most patterns. I have a 40-inch chest. So my measurements are 40, 31, 40. And so to make something off of a written pattern at the time that I was first getting back into it, which was 12 or 13 years ago, to make a 40-inch chest, I would end up with huge sleeves and this giant tent of a sweater that didn't look good on me, because it was assumed that every part of me was 40 inches. And that was a problem for me for a long time, and it was so aggravating. And then I actually found, I mentioned her in the last post, I found Josie Hannon Madera's designs, and she did all the algebra to figure out what size would fit you, and I started using some of her patterns, and they actually fit me. Specifically the skirts. That was the big change for me, was making a skirt that fit. And then understanding how it fit. And then I just went off on my own. And that's really where I've been for a long time, is I just wandered off and decided I want to make something. So I'm just going to keep making the same thing until it's good. I think my first sweater, to get to a sweater that actually looked good, I think it was 7 tries. And when I was done, it was actually a little too small because I had forgotten about ease. And so it was pushing my tits down. And so I sent it to a friend of mine, whose shoulders were too big for it. It ended up with somebody eventually. But the point is, you know, I've taken to crochet as a very interesting challenge, and I've kept my interest in it that way. You know, I'm always trying to find a way to do something different. And I do that because I have the option to design an entire wardrobe for myself. And it will fit me, and it will be comfortable, and it will be in colors that I like. And I have total design control, which is phenomenal. I love that. That really is where I am right now. I just want to design shit forever. Now, I'm really bad at writing how I did it when it comes to garments, but I mean, I probably have a dozen things in my closet I can pull out right now that I made myself. Dresses, tops, skirts, shorts even. I tried to follow a shorts pattern and I got confused about how something worked, and so I just did it myself. And that really is, I love to do stuff for myself. And so that's what crochet brought me. It brought me the chance to do it for myself, to make things that I really want to wear, to make things that fit me correctly. I mean, I haven't bought a button-down shirt in 5 years. You know, like that's the level I'm working with here. And so everything I've gotten from crochet has made me feel creative and in control. And as mentioned, I have anxiety, so feeling in control is kind of a big deal. But it's also led me to just a great feeling of passion about what I'm doing in my downtime, and I like to feel passionate about what I do. I'm very much a big fan of sort of living on the edge of my skin. You know, just if I'm into something, I'm into it. I don't really do casual interests. Probably not shocking to find out I'm a fangirl. You know, this whole blog started because I crocheted some cosplays, and I just realized how much I could show people to maybe help them be inspired like I get inspired. You know, and explain to them, this is how you could do something you might be interested in that you might not know how to do otherwise, or that you might be intimidated by. And so I'm kind of taking my own seat of the pants view of things and trying to give it back to you. And I hope that, you know, as I'm reviewing patterns and tools and doing, you know, the how I made shit stuff, that it's interesting to you and that it inspires you the way that stitching always inspires me. And, you know, you don't have to go out and make a whole wardrobe for yourself, but, you know, I hope that you get interested in a new stitch pattern, or trying a new thing you've never made before. You know, maybe you've never made a bag. And so that's really, this kind of got rambly, but it means so much to me, you know. This little Susan Bates hook that is all the finish is coming off of. This was the beginning of something I could never have imagined, and I feel much more content with myself because of it. So that's what it means to me. This got very sort of hard eyes. I would love to hear what crochet means to you. You know, leave a comment. You know, drop me a note on Ravelry. Whatever works best for you. I'd love to hear why you like the craft too. All right, gonna end there. Awkward.